Hello viewers, I'm SB, and welcome to the 1.0 release of Griftlands. I am a huge fan of this game. I played it a ton during the beta, some of that is up on the channel already, and I am so excited to get to actually see the end of all the character storylines and play with the full mechanics. I've been looking forward to this day. So if you're not familiar with Griftlands, it is a roguelite deck builder. And when I say that, I think a lot of the people in the audience are going to think, oh, it's like Slay the Spire or Monster Train. Sort of. The thing that I think really sets Griftlands apart from the rest of the things in the genre, for me, is the way that it takes the procedural generation and variance that's common in the mechanics of the games in this genre and works it into the narrative as well. And I guess the best way to really explain what I mean there is just to show you. So let's play some Griftlands. Like I said, I played a ton of this game, but I reset my profile here for release day because I know they've changed and rebalanced a lot of things. So we're just going to experience it all fresh from the beginning. There are 3 characters with 3 different stories. For the moment, we only have one unlocked, the story of ik-Derrik, the bounty hunter. Okay, so we're going to play it on the normal difficulty, and this is sort of a core concept of the game, is that you have 2 decks. You have a talking to people deck, which of course will, grow and change over the course of the run. It's a deck builder. And you also have another deck that is for stabbing people with knives. These are 2 different skill sets. They require 2 different approaches, right? Accordingly, we have 2 different health pools, effectively. We have our actual physical health, which if we run out of it, we die and lose the run. And then we have resolve. This is our ability to continue negotiating. If this runs out, we don't die, but it does have some pretty serious consequences, and of course it means that we will find ourselves getting into an awful lot of fights. So we have to be careful with both of them. And then we'll unlock perks and new difficulty levels and more outfits as we complete runs. Okay, and they let us skip the intro level. Yeah, I am an experienced player who would like a more balanced challenge. That sounds like me all over.
You're a bounty hunter. You escaped a life of indentured labor by hunting criminals and debt dodgers. The work has earned you your freedom, if not any friends. Now, you're back home, for the first time in 10 years. But freedom comes with its own dangers, and making a living in Havaria won't be easy. Here, the gangs are feral, the law enforcement are corrupt, and the people are treated like chattel, indebted to merciless criminals. Criminals like Cassio, the ruthless debt broker who sold you to the Derricks in the first place. But now, Cassio's grip has weakened, and there's a bounty on her head too rich to ignore. You'll die before you go into debt again, and so will she, if you have your say. Your first stop is a dive called the Griftlands, where an old friend will help you get your revenge, provided you can prove yourself.
At first sniff, the Griftlands smells like stale hops and dried blood. Well, look what the tide dredged up. Fish, by the holy brine. I'd tear up if I weren't dead inside. Oh yeah, this is our old friend Fish, presumably so named because she is a fish who is missing an eye. Get it? So anytime there's a blue word in the text, we can hover over it and get sort of like a Pyre-style tooltip. If it's a person, it'll tell us what our relationship is with that person. Otherwise, it'll just give us a little bit of text telling us what Sal already knows. That's damn good to see you looking well. You have a plan to get on your feet? I do. That bounty on Cassio. How do we, as you might imagine, Cassio, not a big fan of us at this point. Forget it. You might have grown up strong, but you ain't that strong. But that's not going to stop you from trying, is it? Listen, if you want a chance at surviving this, you better make yourself some friends, fast. And I can help you with that. I knew I could count on you, Fish. So let's get a little bit of back information about the world here. How about Havaria, the largely unsettled continent on which our story takes place? Help me get my bearings. It's been a while since I was last in Havaria. Well, it's dirty and broken, like always. If debt brokering was bad when you were a kid, it's worse now. Half the population is indentured, and them that hold the contracts sell them to pay off their own. Oh, no wonder customs was so uptight on my way back in. Must be a lot of fraud. That ain't the half of it. The Admiralty is pushing for an official annex. So the Admiralty, the Deltrian Admiralty from Deltri, is the military force that is currently occupying the bay. They come from a great big nation across the sea, and they're planning to just take everything over, right? Apparently Fish was about to explain that to you anyway. They want to make everyone real Deltrian citizens, with papers and everything. Yeah, most powerful nation in the world, located on the mainland. In Havaria? You're joking. They say it'll stop illegal debt brokering. Now anyone with a hand in labor contracts is real ornery, from the poor to the powerful. You can imagine the reaction. Yeah, I can. How about you, Fish? So what do I owe you for this, Fish? Cut of my takings? Hash, no. I left my bounty hunting days behind me. I owed your parents once, and I don't like leaving debts unsettled, even to dead folks. Hash is the god of the abyss. We will run into some members of the Hessian cult over the course of the story. They were decent people, South Allen. Watch you don't end up like them. You know, even when you pay off the debts, the Derrik still owns your name. I'm an ik-Derrik now, or so they tell me. So, you know, it's like an oil rig, except in this setting, the resource that we're getting from it is called lumen, and we will definitely run into more lumen over the course of the story. So yeah, when you are indentured to work there, they take your old name and they make you a person of the Derrik. Wow, that's some messed up bladder-rack. Yeah, I would have some feelings about that, I reckon. So you lined up work for me real fast. You some kind of mover here? Nah, I just know people, and people know me. You don't need to go after Kashio, kid. I have enough work to keep you busy. Look, I spent my childhood in a lumen pipe because of her, and now she's worth more money than either of us can count. And she's more dangerous than either of us can figure. You go after her, and she'll clap back with a knife for each kidney. You know, I may have extras to spare, but you only got the 2. I worked off a lifetime's debt in 10 years, just so I could get back here and settle the score. If you were my friend, you wouldn't be telling me to drop it. Hesh, that ain't what I meant. You know it ain't. Look, I'll give you a roof, a bed, and at least one good meal a day. You live your life the way you want. It's yours. And I'll pay you back. I know. Let's get you to work. Yeah, let's take a quest. Let's maybe do some actual gameplay here. I got people in my pocket who owe me a favor. Rudana, Kadwa, and Urkro. They're easy people to find. You tell them I sent you, and they can settle their tab by giving you work. Get that done, and I'll get you a plate of popped Oshnu eyes on the house. Probably because it's impossible to charge for something like that. So an Oshnu is a domesticated giant snail. It's very difficult for me to imagine wanting to consume this on purpose. So Rudana is a clerk who works for the Admiralty, Kadwa also, and Urkro is just a bartender somewhere. Okay.
So he got you.
Bless your warty hide, Fish. I'll hold you to that, for some reason. Apparently Sal likes the eyes. This is just where she and I part ways. So, when we mouse over a potential quest, we get a readout here of the difficulty, whether it's a negotiation or battle-focused quest, and the rewards, of course. What we are looking for is... This one gives an upgrade. This one will get us a new card. Don't worry if the cards are a little bit hard to read at first. You'll understand this all soon enough. I was kind of hoping for a quest that was going to give us a reward of removing a card from our deck. It doesn't look like we are so lucky this time. Maybe we just take an upgrade? What does this wanted card actually do? You know, that's kind of neat. Let's go ahead and take this. Let's instead of making our deck more powerful and consistent, let's just add some stuff to it. Oh, and we have been random encountered on the way over there. Someone dressed an awful lot like a shopkeeper stops you in your tracks. She pulls a knife out of the front pocket of her work apron and waves it like a bundle of burning sage. Alright, sludge sucker, hand over all you got. Don't make me use this. You're not even sure she knows how. I don't know if you understand who you're tangling with here. I am definitely not going to give her my money. we might be able to just hire her. If she's downtrodden, maybe we can just have her come with us on this job. Let's maybe ask some questions first. Sorry, is this a holdup? Yeah. Really? Well, I got a knife, don't I? And we're alone in the wilderness, ain't we? What's so hard to get? Well, it's just that, I'm a well-equipped bounty hunter, and you're... Oh, I'm your worst nightmare. Don't doubt that for a second. Okay, so we have the ability to negotiate and run her off. She has plus 10 resolve because she is in a bad way here. And we're attempting to intimidate her. So there's some special rules when a negotiation is an intimidation attempt. Or we could just knife fight her, and I'm sure we would come out ahead. But honestly, I'm going to offer her a job. Let's see how much it would take to buy her off. We could use some friends around here, right? Listen, what's your name again? Shell? Ah, sucker spawn, I shouldn't have told you that. Right, well, you did. So, look, I don't want to fight you. But how about a job? I could pay you for protection. Protection, huh? Yeah, I don't blame you. It's a scary world out there. It can be, yeah. But I won't do it for less than 50 shells. Yeah, okay. We started with 75 money. Sure. I am trying to make friends. I'm doing my level best here. Alright, you drive a hard bargain, but here you go. Wow, this is great. I've never been hired muscle before. Yeah, and I'm sure you'll do swimming. After you. Yeah, definitely do make her walk in front, for sure. Shell swishes her knife through the air, cutting down some conjured-up ruffian. Okay, and we made a friend. This person actually likes you, and might be willing to help if you're in trouble. So there's a complex web of relationships that we will be managing over the course of this experiment here. We can see our party up here, and if we click on this, we can see all the people in town who love us and like us and dislike us and hate us. And these things have, like, actual consequences. In addition to, like, buffs that constantly affect us, people who like us will come to our aid. If there's a person who likes or dislikes us present where a thing is happening, they will factor into that situation. I think we're going to stick with the quest that I chose. So here we have a shop. There's a guard here. You can see over top of everybody's head, there's an icon that indicates what their role in this place is. If we were to get into a fight in the shop, Feporo here would get involved. This is our quest person. I was going to go shop, but then I remembered we just spent all our money. Let's just talk to Kadwa. The name Kadwa comes from an old folk story about outsmarting a cruel foreman. But as a bureaucrat, this Kadwa definitely has the upper hand. Well met, traveler. I hear you're looking for hunters. Always. There's never a shortage of bounties in Havaria. Kadwa appraises you, paying careful attention to the knives in your belt. Seems like you might be a good fit for one target in particular. And what did they do? Honestly, I don't even know. I just have a list to clear. Bring him in, dead or alive. I'll pay more for alive if you can manage it, but, I'm not picky. Okay. Admiralty has issued a bounty on Virox. There's a 25 shield bonus if you bring him in alive. Well, I do love getting a bonus. Alright, and we're being handed a battle card here. Don't worry too much about about all the parts of this you don't understand yet. For the moment, I think let's take this. And anytime you would gain a card, you have the option to decline and just gain a trivial amount of money. You never do this for the money, you do this to avoid putting crummy stuff in your deck, but I think Bedlam's pretty good. So, where's this person supposed to be? Well, that's supposed to be your job, isn't it? According to the dossier, he is a known associate of Knack and Vis. Okay, just some people. I'd start by talking to one of them, see what you can scare up. Alright. Aye aye, Sarge. That ain't my rank. But your enthusiasm is noted. Well, that's embarrassing. What a faux pas. Okay, do we go meet one of them at a work office, or... This is a bar, probably, the Slurping Snail? Okay, so lots of patrons. Again, a guard with a great big hammer. So again, like if the people here, if anybody who was here liked or disliked us, they could factor into the situation. As it is, we haven't had time really to make enemies yet. You know, the life expectancy of your average average laborer in Havaria isn't long, and Vis looks twice that old. Aye? Hey, pal, you wouldn't happen to know where I might find Virox, would you? Virox? No idea. I don't even know him. And if I did, he would have told me to keep my mouth shut. And if he didn't, I would know enough not to talk. You sure? You seem kinda scared of him. Considering he's someone you've never met and all. So we could just beat the information out of him, but of course, people in the bar will have some feelings about that. Let's just try to convince him to talk. I know that Shell is eager to stick someone, and maybe we'll have an opportunity before this is all over. But let's try just talking our way through this for now. Look, I'm a hunter, alright? You tell me where Virox is, and I take him in. Then you have nothing to be scared of. Oh yeah? And what if you fail, huh? Then Virox will be extra ornery. I mean, or so I think. Obviously, I don't know him personally. Alright, so, here's the negotiation interface. You know what? I will explain it. It's fine. Here on each of these circles are arrayed the arguments that each person in the conversation has. This is our core argument. If this argument's resolve is reduced to 0, we lose the negotiation. This is their main argument, their core argument. If this is reduced to 0, they lose the argument. We can see in the middle ring here an indication of their intent for next round. So they're going to cause 4 resolve damage to one of our arguments, and they're also going to deploy an argument of some kind against us, and we can't see what that is. We have an argument up already here, which Shell has added to the discussion. At the start of your turn, add 1 hush money card to your hand and reduce this by 1. Okay, Shell is thinking maybe we should just pay him off. I don't think that's a bad idea, necessarily. And you can see we gain 1 composure at the start of our turn. That's this, like, temporary hit point here. It'll absorb 1 of the incoming damage. So why don't we start by spending 1 of our 3 actions for the round. You can see the action cost of a card in its upper left. To play some composure, protect ourselves from the rest of that damage. And then we have 2 different sort of attacks. Basic diplomacy and hostility cards here. Green is diplomacy, red is hostility. You got an action cost and an amount of damage. And for the moment, most of the cards in our deck are pretty simple and not all that different from one another, but obviously that will change over time. Let's throw down the threaten. Listen, you don't want this getting messy. And then I guess a fast talk as well. Okay, we got some resolve damage through there. Alright, Shell has inserted a hush money, dismiss a random enemy intent. Okay, that seems like a good idea. Let's go ahead and throw that out and banish his intent to damage us. Thanks, Shell. I guess she's using the money that we just gave her to pay him off. And he's got Suspicion. Diplomacy cards, that's the green cards, deal -2 damage to a minimum of 1. Alright, that's fine. We don't have to engage in diplomacy. So we have Sal's Instincts here, which will let us pick one of these 2 cards to add to our hand. Inspiration, which will give us a little bit of influence, which improves the effectiveness of our diplomacy cards. You can see it makes all diplomacy deal maximum damage. Or we can gain some Dominance, which adds 1 damage to any red card we play. Given the situation and our hand and everything, it seems pretty obvious this is the way we want to go. And then we have 2 actions left. Let's do some quick thinking here. So the improvise mechanic, it just shows us a bunch of cards and we pick one of them to add to our hand. So draw 2. Ordinarily, drawing cards is a big deal in card games, but we only have 1 action left and we pretty much know how we're going to spend it. So let's not bother with that. 2 composure on 2 random friendly arguments, not so good this turn because we dismissed all of their damage. So let's incept some vulnerability. And incepting adds an argument to your opponent's argument area. And this just makes him all resolve losses increased by 1. Let's get him. So deal some damage, gain some dominance. We lose 1 stack of dominance at the start of each turn. We can currently have just the 1 stack, so that'll go away at the beginning of our next turn. But for now, yeah, alright, let's take some benefit. Vis is not doing so hot here. Alright, he's still got the suspicion. We have redrawn our deck already. Our deck is quite small at the beginning of the game, just 10 cards, so we're gonna go through it real quickly. Let's go ahead and just do that thing again. Quick thinking. So we can reduce his damage, we can gain a bonus action for next turn. He's gonna do 4 damage and play some kind of argument and play some kind of argument. I guess this is going to happen in 3 turns. We have some warning on whatever this is. So it's hard to know what Hush Money is going to do exactly, and I probably should have played the Hush Money before playing this to get a little bit more information. You know what? Let's Fluster. So, reduces damage by 33%. We've managed to save ourselves 1 there, potentially. Alright, got rid of whatever argument you were about to play. Let's go ahead and do this. Now, we could have chosen to do resolve damage to his suspicion and removed that effect that's reducing the effectiveness of our green cards, but it felt like it was better to just play around it, right? Alright, so this whole thing is pretty abstract, but I like the little snippets of dialogue that sort of clarify what is happening thematically with the cards that you are playing mechanically. Let's just go ahead and engage in a little bit of deflection. Hey, listen, I'm on your side here, buddy. Let's not get this twisted. And fingers crossed, maybe we can just win here. Alright. So, first of all, when you win a negotiation or a battle, you get a card of a choice of cards of the relevant type. And secondly, we gain some experience. So let's pick one of these first. I'm a big fan of sort of red card strategies. They were by a large margin the most interesting during beta. I don't know if that's still the case, but let's take Low Blow. This is a nice high average damage card. So before we continue this conversation, let's talk about experience. That's the wrong deck. Here we go. So you can see each of these cards has an experience meter in the middle of it. Each time you play a card in a negotiation or battle, it gains 1 point of experience. When it fills up all the way, it will upgrade and we'll get a choice of improvements to apply to it. So we want to figure out which cards we're really focusing on early and make sure that they're getting a lot of play so that we can get more effective with them. In particular, like Sal's Instincts and Quick Thinking are both things we're going to want to level up as quickly as possible. You want to spend your whole life living in fear? Or do you want to seize the day and make something happen? You tell me where to go, and I make your problem go away. You could really do that? I mean, I guess you're a hunter. I guess that's what people pay you for. Okay, I'll show you. But you gotta do the job right. Vis marks your map in a hurry, then turns away as if you never even spoke. Okay, I'm a little worried about this Virox guy. Apparently people are real scared of him. Well, that's alright, I got backup. I'm sure everything will be fine. Oh. He doesn't look so mean. It's tough making a living in the Griftlands, but the myth of upward mobility keeps Virox on the line. Keep your distance. You never know who you can trust out here. You know how when a bounty hunter catches their quarry, they say something like, "You're gonna come quiet, or are we gonna do this the hard way?" Yeah? He's not getting it. Oh. Seems you can't decide whether you're a hunter or a comedian. But I know what you really are. Dead. Oh, he's just gonna jump me right now. Well, first of all, you know, there's a guard in here who doesn't like violence. And secondly, we got all that hired muscle. This is self-defense, so we will not be in trouble if something untoward should happen here, like our opponent dying. Status effect. Okay, this is an indicator that Shell's going to apply a status effect to us, and poor Merchant Virox is intending to hit Shell. I feel bad about that, but you know, this is what we hired her for. So, you can see above everybody's health bar an indication of how much damage it's going to take for them to lose morale and panic. And we might, we're going to get paid extra for bringing him in alive, right? So we want to be careful here. We want to try to get him low enough that he freaks out, but not so low that he dies horribly. So combat works similarly to negotiation in some ways. The cards are formatted pretty similarly. Of course, we have 3 actions per turn. We're drawing from a limited deck of cards. Let's start by just stabbing. Am I allowed to feint on someone else's behalf? Do I pick a target? Okay, yeah. I'm gonna cover Shell. And then we'll just throw a couple of knives here. I should probably have moused over his effect here. Attack damage by this target is reduced by 33%, so he's temporarily impaired. He may have been doing some things before we arrived. So what is this? Battle Flourish. Fill up the Flourish bar to trigger one of Sal's flourishes. Oh, interesting. This is a mechanic that did not exist before, I'm pretty sure. Not the last time I played, I mean. Earn Flourish by playing cards, dealing damage, defending damage, and by killing opponents. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Alright, so Shell buffed us up. She gave us a point of power, which is going to increase the damage of all of our attacks by 1. She has been wounded, but he seems to be a little distracted. He's not gonna take advantage of the wound anyway. So I'm just gonna kind of ignore that. Let's Sal's Daggers to get ourselves a new card, so we can gain some combo and also some bonus damage if we have any combo. There's a whole accumulating combo points and then using them for finishers mechanic that you can get into. Right now, our deck is very simple and it doesn't have any cards that like give significant combo or really make use of combo points yet. So I'm just going to take this and we're going to bleed you. And as you might imagine, if you've ever played a game like this before, it's just a little bit of damage over time. They take damage at the beginning of their turn, equal to their bleed stacks, and then lose half of the stacks. And Elbow Strike. Alright, so as it stands right now, dude's gonna take surrender damage from our teammates. I'm not gonna hit him again. Let's just throw up a feint on our friend here. Okay, so we can accept his surrender. He's given up. His panic response was to surrender. We can accept it, or we can just murder him right now. We want to take him in alive, right? Plus, killing people makes enemies. I mean, listen, jumping people and taking them in for bounties also makes enemies, but what are you going to do? So whenever you win a battle, you earn back a little bit of resolve, feeling good about yourself, and a new card. So, Uppercut doesn't really do all that much damage for its 2 cost, but it gives us a permanent +1 attack damage for the rest of the battle. Obviously pretty cool. If we're going to try to get into a combo and finisher type strategy, Combination is pretty solid. And Backstab. If this card was improvised, double its damage until the end of the turn. And honestly, it's just like, even playing Backstab just normally out of your hand, 1 action for 3 to 5 damage is a little bit better than our baseline cards. I think this is interesting. We don't have a method of improvising this just yet, but we could find a card that's like, improvise an attack from your deck. I'm not sure which strategy I want to lean into, honestly. I think Backstab seems like it could be fun. We're gonna build toward a fun deck. All right, enough. I'll take my chances with the Admiralty. Yeah, there you go. That's more like it. I just wish you could have realized that before we went through all this rigmarole. You bind Virox's wrists and he falls in line behind you. Virox dislikes you. Gee, I wonder why. Listen, if we take him back and he gets thrown in jail, then we don't have to worry so much about him disliking us, right? It's unlikely to have any consequences. But we've been intercepted again here. You come across a lone merchant, a rare sight on Havarian roads. Usually they're smart enough to travel with armed security. Hey, stranger, nice day, isn't it? Lily's clothing is rich, and rich clothing has deep pockets. And the roads are deserted, except for you and your new friend. Say, you look like someone in need of an edge. I have some goods that might interest you. He has a card. No, he has a graft. So we have slots up here for permanent upgrades that will affect our combat or negotiation prowess. Whenever you break defense with an attack, applied 2 bleed and gain 4 defense. Honestly, that's a pretty solid graft. We do not have any money. Do we want to just rob Lily? Lily will hate you, and being hated has its costs, but we'd be really good at it, right? We're in good shape for robbery. I think I'm gonna... I would like some money, though. The thing is, I would like some money, though. So right now, we're totally neutral. We don't know what Lily's relationship to people is. Word is, Lily would sell his own grandmother if he thought he could buy her back at half price next week. Well, I mean, who among us wouldn't? You can't afford not to sell your grandmother at these prices. You know what? Let's do it. Let's just get into some trouble.
Cool.
You know, I think I'll just take it. So, being hated by a person applies a bane to us. Buying anything from shopkeepers costs an additional 20 shills. Yo, that sucks. I am not happy about that at all. Please, no, that will ruin me. Let me give you half of what I have. We can both walk away happy. Well, this is not a very good amount of money for, for the bane that was just applied to us. We could attempt to just intimidate it out of him, and there are reasons for him not to go along with that, so you get some resolve bonuses. Or, alternatively, what if we just murder him, and then it won't matter that he hates us? This will remove the bane, because he'll be too dead to bane us. I'm gonna do this. This is how we're going. Listen, I'm not playing Sal ik-Derrik as a lawful good character. All right, she is not. All right, so he is intending to throw something at us, or he's gonna buff himself, and Shell is gonna buff herself. Okay. Let's start accumulating experience on our backstab. What is your effect here? Okay, you hate Sal, and so Sal will be the only target of your attacks. That makes sense. I have that effect on people. Let's play the stab that has XP on it already. And then a question. Do we want to try to level up an elbow strike, or do we want to just keep leveling our stabs? I'm thinking we go this way. There's randomness here, but the expected value of a stab is a little bit higher than 3, so... Alright, he's given himself 8 defense, and then he's going to do damage to both of us. So, let's fight dirty. Love to improvise a card. Enrage gains us a power, but it will cost another action on top of what the fight dirty cost us, so we don't get to do very much this turn. Draw and discard doesn't really get us... This feels like it's just going to be kind of a weak turn for us, unfortunately. How much health do you have? Not that much. The battle's probably not going to be long enough for Enrage to really be worthwhile. Let's just dig for some better cards. Well, okay, I'll take a Feint. Feint is alright. So, I know I want to level up Sal's daggers. Obviously. We want to improvise better versions of cards. But given the situation here, I think what I'm going to do instead is just Feint on myself. She'll be okay. And we're gonna bedlam this dude. Doesn't actually matter what we discard. Alright, let's try to get this fight over with. Okay, a small amount of grenade to my face. Don't really appreciate that. So we're gonna take 6 and also some kind of status effect. Throw up some bleed and try to avoid a lot of that damage. And like I said, I think we're just gonna deal with that Bane. It's a pretty bad Bane. I don't care for it. Alright, so the good news is we got all of the money. And we got some resolve back, and we got ourselves a spark grenade. Okay, that's exciting. And we learned a new card. So discard 2 cards to attack a random enemy for 2 but 0 cost. Or, here we go. here's a card that benefits from being discarded. We already have some discard effects in our deck. Let's take something that lets us benefit from those. And we'll sort of build into this strategy. Starting to get a reputation for violence. I am a known thug. So this is a negotiation card that will come up. During negotiations, it deals 1 resolve damage to a random opponent argument whenever you draw a card. Hey, honestly, seems pretty good. There are some benefits to being a known thug. You cut the merchant's purse from his belt, rolling his body into the brush, and continue along your way. And here is our graft. Hooray! Free Buster. Alright, and see, the Bane is gone. We are no longer hated by this extra person. No, never mind. Are we still affected by the Bane? Does that work the way I wanted it to? No, okay, yeah, the Bane is gone. We just have our troubled past. Hey, good news, Kadwa. I did the thing that gets me paid the most. Here's Virox, as promised. You actually brought him in alive. Nice job, Grifter. You surprised me. Come along, Virox. We have a lot to talk about. This is an outrage. I've been set up, I tell you. Save it for the magistrate. Oh, I gained I don't even know what that resource is. Damn it, Virox. Well, turns out we take the Banes anyway. And as a result of winning the quest, we get the Bounty Hunter card. We have the opportunity to just not take it if we didn't want to add stuff to our deck, but I think it looks good. Shell looks to the horizon, gauging the time by the skies. Well, Sal, this has been an experience. But your time is up. Maybe we'll do this again sometime, Yeah, you never know. Shell leaves, whistling a shanty as she goes. She got to stab people. She's probably had a pretty good day here. She got paid to stab people. Alright, now that we actually have money again, let's talk to the shopkeeper. You get the feeling Onawar would do anything to turn a profit. What are you on about, then? Is that a way to treat people who are coming to your shop? So, you'll notice mostly item-type cards have destroy after X uses on them, and the number of uses you get is tracked on the side there. So maximum damage of this is increased by 2 per available use. Okay, so the first few times you use this thing, it's going to deal a lot of damage. Do we want to just buy a big gun? This is not a terrible use of our money. But we could buy some healing vapors to give ourselves a little bit of an ability to replenish after we take some damage. You know what? None of these are really blowing my mind. Spark Shot does seem pretty okay. It's a lot of money, though. Let's hold off for the moment. Let's shop around. So, we have some optional limited time opportunities here. We could go to a desolate battlefield and try to scavenge something. Or, there's something special about this place. You could go here to gather thoughts and strengthen resolve. So I believe the deal with the meditation spot is it'll allow you to restore resolve if you're missing some, and it also gives you the opportunity to increase your maximum. I sort of think for the moment maybe we just wanna get some things. You know what? Increasing our maximum's probably a good idea. Let's jump on these orange things, and then we'll get to whatever other missions are available. The woods fall silent. There's nobody around. You can take a moment to gather your thoughts. So yeah, we can heal up, we can heal our resolve considerably while losing health. Or we can meditate on the nature of meditation. Lose 20 current resolve, but increase max by 5. Yeah, let's do it. We can figure this out. We will figure out a way to survive. We'll just stab some people and get our resolve back. You empty your mind and ponder the nature of the void. You finish the session exhausted, but you learned a thing or two about your own insignificance, which, you know, if I learned anything from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, that does, in fact, do some major resolve damage. So I believe that winning a fight restores... it's a percentage of your missing resolve. So we saw it restore 1 point each of the previous times, but it'll do more than that right now. So we may want to go get in a fight. And this quest lets us remove a card from our deck. So we can have... Alongwe wants you to clear out some beasties from a desolate beach so that the Jakes can use it for smuggling. That's not amazing rewards. We can take on this higher difficulty quest to get ourselves a graft, which obviously is pretty high value, but I'd be leery of taking on a particularly difficult negotiation quest with 10 resolve. So let's do this. Urkro has heard that bandits are coming to rob his store and is looking for help defending his property. I love fighting people. And there's... okay. We know Vis. Not really had any other interactions with anyone here. A good bartender knows how to mix a drink. The better bartenders know how to fix a fight. Urkro does both. Another day in the feud, So, we could sit down and have a meal, which, unfortunately, is going to be a little bit expensive. So, gain 2 power ambush. This is automatically placed in the hand at the start of a battle. Wow, that's actually a very powerful buff. The 0 cost gain 2 power that you're guaranteed to get on turn 1. How expensive was that? 60? Honestly, it's probably worth it. Incept 2 flustered and draw a card. Expend an ambush. So it's just bonus damage during negotiations. And this is gain 2 actions, draw a card. Ambush. So you get a great big first turn open. Honestly, maybe it's worth buying a little bit of food if we're about to be in a fight. You know what? We're doing fine. We have a ton of health. It's only a 1-star fight. We should be able to handle this. Where does you need some help? Huh, yeah, and you look like you could cut it. One of those spree types was sniffing around my shop yesterday like they were casing the joint, you know? Spree is just kind of like all of the criminals in the area are sort of affiliated in the spree. I got my guard to chase them out, but I know how those scum operate. They'll be back. Okay, yeah. I will help you defend your property from bandits. So, attack a random enemy, apply 1 wound, which just increases the damage dealt to that enemy. Obviously, it's a little bit of a bummer to attack randomly, but 1 action for 2 to 8 damage is pretty solid. Draw a card, it costs 0 until played. That's pretty whatever. You know, you're spending an action to play this, so it's only actually valuable if you draw a card that costs 2 actions or more. Otherwise, you're just moving the action you would have spent playing that to playing this card. I guess it does let you get through your deck a little bit faster. Once it's upgraded, it probably turns into something really cool, though. Or we could keep playing with our discard theme. I kind of like that. Let's build on the linear. Now, before the spree arrive, you probably want to check in with my guard, Halit. I'm not sure what they said to him yesterday, but he's been acting strange ever since. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Hey, Halit, what's up? It's hard to believe Halit has a reputation for being a bit of a Casanova, but then you always were immune to such charms. I mean, with a face like that, what's hard to believe about it? Halit nods in acknowledgement of your presence. Well, it's a start. So, you can convince a bouncer to eject a patron if they like you. Obviously, it's not the case here. We can try to convince him to actually do his job, and Urkro, obviously, who has an interest in this happening, will throw in. We'll probably fail this, but let's try it. There will be relatively limited consequences for not being able to convince him. So, how about those bandits, eh? Oh, don't you start on me too. I don't know how to... I only took this job because... Look, give me one good reason to stay and risk my life for this job, huh? Sure, I'll give you 3. Alright, what has Urkro added to the conversation? All my diplomacy cards deal maximum damage for some time here. We have 3 stacks of influence. So, I mean, that definitely bends us in a slightly different direction than we have been leaning in before. Let's incept some vulnerability. Throw up the fast talk, obviously. And then I think we'll just play deflection. We're not in a position to damage race with only 10 resolve. Oh, sorry. What are your rules? At the start of Halit's turn, incept a planted evidence argument. When this argument is destroyed, deal damage to the owner's core argument. Interesting. So, because he's a cop, he has done the conversational equivalent of planting evidence on us. Okay, so he put 2 stacks of it up, so when this argument is destroyed with its 1 health, it will deal 2 damage to us. And he's got this interrogate argument that is going to deal damage for free each turn. Well, I reckon we ought to do something about that. Let's just go ahead and fast talk that off. That protects the the planted evidence, the sort of the scarecrow argument that he set up here. As things stand right now, he's planning to blow up our influence. So let's defend that and then just get some more influence out here. Sort of leaning into a strategy for this encounter. We weren't able to cover all of the damage, but it's something. Okay, drawing known thug really early in our draw step was was very helpful. One resolve damage to a random opponent on each of these 4 card draws. Okay, so this incepts Wanted, an argument that, when destroyed, causes the owner's core argument to take 8 resolve damage and they gain 1 impatience. Let's go ahead and play that. So 8 resolve damage will almost finish him off. And whenever you overflow damage on a minor argument like this, like we're gonna do 1 more damage than this thing actually has resolve, it overflows back to their main argument. So you can see he took 8 plus 1, but he did gain impatience. He is annoyed with me changing the subject. His arguments deploy with +1 resolve, and he does +1 damage. Maybe we're just gonna get lucky and blow him up here. If we don't, though, we're gonna take 2 plus another 2 from the overflow damage on this. Yeah, I mean, it's not really worth playing the deflection, though. No, it totally is. What am I talking about? This deflection protects us 100%, because we have our natural 1 composure here. And we'll just finish him off next turn. Alright, I can't believe I'm saying this, but hooray for diplomacy. Now, we should play one of our deflections before we go out, because otherwise we're just throwing away experience, right? We can get experience on a card and then finish, and I really do want to level up the low blow, even though that threaten is kind of close to upgrading already. Let's get our experience over here. So, browbeat. We were sort of leaning red. I don't think browbeat's very good. 1 to 2 damage once for each remaining action, and then it costs all of your remaining actions. Just, it doesn't seem very good, right? But I don't really want to build green necessarily. I might actually decline here and just take the shills. Yeah, let's do that. Alright, and thirdly, so I like this, like the conversation happened and we saw sort of a mechanical abstraction of it. We don't know exactly what Sal said, but we do see her third reason here. And thirdly, look at Urkrow. Look at that face. Is that a face that can handle another betrayal? Or is that a face you want to hold gently and promise you'll always be there for? Okay, I'll stay. I don't want to abandon Urkrow, or anyone. I wouldn't want to abandon anyone. Alright, we managed to make it sort of an identity issue for Halit. Do you want to be the person who ran away, or do you want to be the person who fought? Alright, I'm ready. Let's do the thing. Alright, you hide under the counter here. When I give the word, you come out stabbing. I won't take that literally, but you got it. I don't know, I think he wants us to take it pretty literally. You wedge yourself under the counter, and Urkrow pulls a sheet over you. That doesn't seem necessary, but fine. Time passes. You hear customers come and go, the wheels of commerce spinning above your head. Just as your leg is starting to cramp, you hear something loud and angry come through the door. Did you miss me? Ah, see what I mean, guys? This shopkeeper is incorrigible. Looks like we're gonna have to teach him a lesson. Yeah, well, I've got a lesson for you. That's me, I'm the lesson. This would be your cue. So I can choose to just not do the job if I think I'd rather not fight, but like, I want money, and I have lots of health to trade for money. You come out from behind the counter.
C'est parti.
Aw, look, he bought himself a bodyguard.
Kishoko.
Cute.
Idiota.
Thanks, I am cute. Scram, grifter, or we'll gut you where you stand. I mean, yeah, let's do the job. So she brought some wild fleeds with her. Are those the people she was talking to? She was like, yeah, get him, this shopkeeper's incorrigible. Listen, I'm not going anywhere. Well then, it's your funeral. Okay, so chitinous fleeds. Gain 5 defense at the end of their turn. Whenever all defense is broken, remove 1 stack of chitinous. Okay, that's an interesting mechanic. She gains 5 power when... Okay, so when she drops down below 27, it's giving us the power tooltip there, and for a moment I was confused. I was like, wait a minute, did it already give it to her? But no, it's just clarifying what power will be when she has it. And at the end of her turn, she heals for 2. Okay. So if we wanna blow her up, we'd like to do it all at once. Everybody's just taking a moment to apply their self buffs, and we're gonna get mauled by fleets. We are not going to be able to... Yeah, we're not gonna be able to get all of this damage off of us, nor are we going to be able to kill one of the fleets this turn, it looks like. Well, let's start by fighting dirty. Let's improvise a card. Let's get some information about what we have here. So... we can apply an impair, which reduces somebody's damage output by 33%, but I think I'm going to scrounge, because I would love to find that card that wants to be discarded. Hey, we got it. Alright. So let's throw up a reckless swing on one of the fleets, right? Let's burn through these things first. So we will discard Stringer, gaining 2 defense and 2 counter. And that cracked 1 level of chitinous off. And then we have 1 more action. Do I want to do Sal's daggers and apply more bleed? Probably, right? That makes sense. Yeah, let's stack up some more bleed. And remember, this bleed happened because of our graft, which causes us to apply 2 bleed and gain 4 defense ourselves whenever we break someone's defense. Alright, we're going to be able to get rid of this fleet soon. Alright, so doing a little bit of counter damage. We have, unfortunately, taken 2 stacks of impair here. They don't stack, it just adds duration. You gained 6 charges of revved up. Attacks apply 1 bleed, then reduce revved up. Okay. Nobody's attacking me this turn, which I'm pretty happy to see. So we got this spark grenade, which does 4 to 6 damage to 2 random enemies and ignores defense. As it is right now, both of the animals are already going to surrender from the damage our teammates are doing. So... I don't know, we're just going to do some pretty crappy damage to Precht, I guess? Yeah, I'm not going to spend the spark grenade. I don't think there's any reason to. We'll just do some crummy damage and then throw up this feint on someone for the purposes of just gaining XP on it. Alright, then this bleed takes bleed damage and also runs away, and I'm fine with that. We could have pushed to kill the animals. I think there is some benefit that comes from doing that. This sucks. She's gonna hit us 3 times and throw up all that bleed. But I think it's a good idea to focus. I guess we'll defend all this damage. We'll bedlam. Just discard whatever. I assume we're still gonna eat the bleed, even though, yeah. Even though all of the damage was prevented. Stupid revved up. It seems very powerful. And she is extremely focused. She knows who she is hunting. Alright, fortunately we're going to get enough damage between us and our allies to just finish the job, it looks like, which means I did not need to play that feint. I probably should have just gotten XP on the attack cards. Alright, good work everyone. So, If we don't kill Precht, I don't know exactly what the outcome of that will be. I imagine Precht will hate us, and probably will get a Bane from it and stuff. Also, we kind of made some character decisions already, right? This version of Sal is murderous. And this was self-defense. So, morally, we're fine here. Alright, so 5 resolve, a little bit of money. A makeshift dagger that applies 1 wound, 50% chance to destroy when played. Okay, I mean it's a pretty decent card. Gain 1 counter whenever you gain defense. So when a card says ability, that's a buff that it gives you for the rest of that battle. So this seems fine. It's a little expensive to play though. That's a compelling amount of damage for a single action. Obviously, uncontrollable damage is a little bit of a bummer, but a lot of the time, you know, there won't be a bad target to hit. So I kind of think I'm inclined to take this. Spine seems okay. We do gain defense a lot. You know what, I'm going to take the spines. Maybe we'll end up just removing it from our deck later, but like the maximum possible upside on that is pretty good. Starting to get a reputation for violence. Alright, unstable. Draw a card, play it with a random target. This is a negotiation card. It's worth noting. So yellow cards are cards that you have. They're essentially status effects. Sometimes they're cards you have because of your reputation. Sometimes, like, the bleed cards that were added to our deck by Precht's attack were also yellow. So it will not be affected by things that affect green or red cards, obviously. Good job, Grifter. Take this. You earned every coin. Hell yeah. 60 shills? That's not... Okay. It's fine, I guess. We have a little bit of a sense of where we want to go with our negotiation deck. I'm going to burn a negotiation card out. So let's get rid of, like, a fast talk. Or maybe a deflection. Yeah. I'm a big believer in offense being the best defense. Let's take out the low XP deflection. Alright, and look at that. We're out here making friends and everything. Unfortunately, we are not friendly enough with that character for them to give us a discount or anything. So, we could go get a gift from Kadwa. See, making friends has benefits. Or, we could go down here. Shell is in trouble. You have a chance to save her before it's too late. We should probably do that. I could definitely see Shell getting herself into trouble. That makes sense to me, based on what we know about her. You find Shell under Knack's heel, looking 1 blow away from the worst day of her life. Well, yeah, of course save Shell. Don't just sit here and see if he kills her. I don't exactly know what's going on, and she probably deserves whatever's happening to her, but she's my friend, right? You make enough of a racket to draw Knack's attention, and Shell looks up at you with wide eyes. Sal! This has nothing to do with you, Grifter. Stay out of it. We could try to run him off, or I could just murder him. The thing is, our resolve is still kind of low. Okay. Like I said, we're playing a pretty murderous version of Sal this run. This will not be the case on all of our runs, but this is where this is headed. You're gonna regret messing with any of mine, pal. That's sweet in one sense, but also it is kind of like... I wonder how Shell's gonna feel about the fact that I basically expressed ownership there. So he's got a stack of power. Okay, all Jirackles get a stack of power for free at the beginning of combat. And he's a little worn out. Remove 1 stack when attacked. If it reaches 0, apply 1 stun. Okay, that's cool. Also, dude punches really hard. Do we want to just feint all the damage off? Just kind of take it slow through this fight? I guess there's no reason not to, right? It doesn't matter what we discard. Yeah, that's a big... You know, he's wearing power gloves. They're so bad. I'm very impressed. So we're going to take a big hit this turn, and there's no way we're getting to blow all these worn out stacks. Let's throw up some bleed. And then do I want to spark grenade this? Probably not. I probably want to save this for a situation where it's actually going to do damage to 2 different people. So let's just backstab into Bedlam. I mean, we're doing damage pretty quickly. Ow, dude. dude. Boy. This is a little awkward. Fight dirty? Okay, I was kind of hoping to draw one of the things that would allow us to discard Stringer. No such luck. He's going to hit me for 3. He's also going to apply a status effect, and that's true whether or not we take the damage. I think I'm going to play... I think we're going to take Trip. Make him more vulnerable to damage. He's on 3 stacks of Worn Out. That's actually really awkward, because we don't have enough cards in our hand. We don't have enough actual attacks in our hand to stun him off of Worn Out this turn. Yeah, man, what a bummer. Alright, you know what? I am going to take Hide. We're going to apply the Spines. And then gain 3 defense. And also 1 point of counter from my Spines. Oh wait, sorry. Do I have playable cards remaining? Oh, the Dagger. Yeah, I'm not going to play the Dagger here. Don't show me that again. I'm sure there will be other times when we want to pass with that Dagger in our hand without playing it, right? So right now, we don't have enough control over our deck to routinely draw the cards that we want to discard alongside the cards that discard them, but hopefully we'll put that together. Alright, a backstab plus a stab gives us a stun, and then we play a card that gives us defense just because we have no other cards to play. I guess let's work toward leveling up this Feint. I want to level up Stringer as well, obviously, but we're so close on this Feint. Alright, can we finish you off? Yeah, we got him. Let's play Fight Dirty first to get an experience onto it. And then whatever. Sure, I'll wound him. And then Reckless Swing does the job. You know what, I should have played another card to... I'm just throwing away XP. Also, lives. Uh-oh, Dell hates me on account of I killed their friend Knack. Well, you know, if we had not killed Knack, I'm sure Knack would have hated us, so we were probably going to gain a Bane no matter how we did that. Sorry, Dell. So at the start of each negotiation, discard a card. That's not the worst thing in the world. Got 4 resolve, a little bit of money. We stole his awesome gloves. And... yeah, do I want to take another backstab? Apply a bleed for each card played this turn, so obviously, sometimes Slice is going to be a lot of bleed. Especially if you play it on a turn like after you've played Fight Dirty. And we still don't really have the mechanisms to make backstab work yet. Yeah, alright. At the moment, we're sort of like fanning out into an array of possible strategies, and hopefully some of them will actually coalesce into something. Thanks, Sal. You actually saved my skin there. Knack has always hated me. Well, he can't hate anything now. Come on, let's get you somewhere safe. Hooray, Shell loves me. You can negotiate for greater quest rewards. I like that reward very, very much. And look at that, we're out here making friends. So, like, when I was talking about the variance and the procedural generation working into the narrative, you know, this stuff with Shell does not happen every game. You see a subset of the available characters in every game, and their relationships to each other are always different. Dell will not be best friends with Knack on most runs, right? And so you generate these situations with your actions that play out in little mini-narratives inside of the greater narrative, which feels structurally to me very similar to the way the mechanics of these games play out, where, like, the individual challenges are affected by the things that you did, but you're always working toward the same ending, right? You know where the boss is, you go to the boss room, and you fight the boss to win. Oh. You're startled by a cult lumicite bounding merrily toward you. It's unaccompanied, but seems friendly enough. What do you want? You try to walk past, and it blocks your path, wagging its tail. Well, I mean, it seems like it wants a friend? I could drive it off, or I could be its friend. It's kind of adorable in a scary way. I love that very much. Obviously, we will be friends, Bort. My lumicite's name is also Bort. I wonder if it's because I smell like lumen. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Or maybe you and me have both just had enough of the cult, huh? I don't know how to make that noise. Seems you have a new friend. Cool. We just got ourselves a pet. You know, sometimes critters are just looking for a friend. Fish greets you enthusiastically. Sal, I've lined up a great opportunity for you. Those two over there are night merchants. They sell rare goods you can't get nowhere else. And it just so happens they need your help. I already forgot what voice I used for Fish. You can only be in one place at a time, but either will get you a leg up you sorely need, kid. You go tell them I sent you and ingratiate yourself. Just be warned that they're both persnickety so-and-sos. You're probably going to cheese off the one you don't pick, trying to educate me to the idea of narrative consequences. Yeah, sounds neat. Thanks, Fish. So, Endo is definitely a Luma... He's from the cult, I believe, is what this garb means. So we don't know... You need help getting a loan extension. You want wildlife management. Well, I'm a better fighter than I am a talker at this point, I believe. Oh, hey, look, it's our buddy Kadwa. If we just give Kadwa a bunch of money, this will upgrade Kadwa to love, and we'll get a boon here. Once a day, you can ask a nearby member of the Admiralty to help you in battle or negotiation. Interesting. Is that worth 150 shills? I'm honestly torn. I'm gonna say no for the moment. Let's see what you want. Either Endo's got a smudge on his nose, or the call of the divine has turned his gaze within. I'd ask what you're up to lurking through the feud at night, but then you might ask me the same. Yeah, what's the deal with your job? I'm a friend of Fish's. How can I help? Fish tells me you're pretty good with a blade. I get by. Sounds like you need something stabbed. Is it something with 4 legs or 2? Yes. Let's just call it an infestation. And it's getting in the way of my good deeds. So yeah, he is a priest of the cult. I'll get you there, and you flash your steel, or whatever it is hunters do. Agreed? So I feel like we're a little bit low on information. I was hoping to get, the display and actually get to know what the rewards would be. I feel like we don't want to work for the cult, right? Me and my new friend are both done with the cult. You know what? It's been like a long day, and that sounds like a lot of work. Rain check? I don't have that luxury, but you'll go your way and I'll go mine. Yeah, you know what? No, I'm not into the cult. What's up, Rake? Rake is never one for surprises. Evening, Grifter. Hey, stranger. Fish says you're looking for some help? I guess I am. You see, normally I just punch my problems until they stop moving. But some problems are too big to punch. So, what can I do for you? I run a little combat training operation, but I need an extension on my debts, or I might have to close up shop. If you help me buy a little more time, I'll take you to our secret market. You can get your hands on goods. Yeah, alright, I'm into that. That sounds good to me. Also, I'm fine with members of the cult disliking me. Sounds like we have a deal. Lead the way and I'll do the talking. Ha, beauty. Thanks, Hunter. Hesh does not forget, Grifter, and neither will I. You keep talking like that, I'm gonna have to murder you. I don't know if you've heard, that's the way I resolve literally all of my problems. Alright, let's convince Rake's creditors to back off. Seems like an unalloyed good to me. Rake leads you to a desolate beach. Here's the place. Remember, we can't fight our way through this. Trust me, I've tried. With that warning, you're joined by a merchant with a stiff collar and a sneer to match. I'm here for the money, Rake. Kashio's tired of excuses. Oh, this is a person who works for Kashio. I know Rake just told us we can't stab our way through this problem, but she's never met me and my stabbing. We might consider it. And who the heck are you? Hired muscle? Whoa. Let's not be hasty. So I can offer to beat Cash up. That's a strange way for this to be worded. I'm gonna do this. Let's see what happens. You reach for your blade, but Rake stops you. I told you, I've tried that. Sure, we could beat this one up, but Kashio will send more. I hired you for your words, not your knives. Oh, that was a bad decision. Ha, typical. Now where's the money? Okay, he did not gain any resolve from witnessing that exchange, at least. Yeah, I will try to convince him to extend the loan. Listen, Rake just needs a little bit more time. Alright, so you can see all of our friends here. Rake has flustered him. 2 turns of flustered. That's pretty nice. And what is our pet doing? Targets an opponent argument each turn for 3 damage. Oh, nice. But apparently somehow he's going to convince our pet to no longer participate in this battle very quickly here. It is a shame that we have no way of protecting it. Well, let's throw up the bounty hunter. So this is going to give you impatience right away, which is maybe a little bit dangerous, but I do want to just get through your stuff quickly. So let's take a dominance. We're all red cards in hand right now. We'll blow this up with the dominance. And then we'll employ that low blow. I mean, we're burning through his resolve pretty quickly here. Oh, he's hit me with the kickback. Alright, good news. I'm feeling particularly unstable. Okay, that's fine. That's an okay outcome. Let's improvise something up here. So we do not have much in the way of value this turn. Expend cards, just don't go back into your deck when you reshuffle. I mean, this seems fine, right? We play this and then we play Fast Talk and Threaten. It's not an awesome turn, but it's a fair amount of damage. Let's make a quick observation into some Fast Talk, and then of course, remind him who's boss around here. Alright, so he's just gonna keep filling our deck with garbage, which is annoying. What is this? When destroyed, Sal gains draw 1 extra card at the start of your turn. Well, I feel like maybe we should just ignore that and blow up your face. I guess we don't know for sure that we'll be able to do that. It depends on us rolling pretty well on the Fast Talk. Let's Fast Talk here first. Okay, so we literally are unable to win even on a maximum value roll unless we want to actually pay the kickback to run you off. I guess let's do it. 5 shills isn't that much money. So, you know, it's kind of garbage, but it's also kind of opportunity. It's an interestingly designed mechanic. Alright, let's get rid of you. Alright, so we had to pay him off a little bit to get him to go away, but we got him to go away. Improvise a card from your discard pile. You know, I actually am way into this idea. Get back something that we just played. You know, a living customer is a paying customer, and that's what you want, isn't it? Yeah, provided she'll actually pay. Fine, I'll give Rake another week. But after that, you know, the gesture with the thumb across the throat, that means the murder. Cash slinks into the night, leaving nothing but his threat behind. Ha! A week! Hash, that really saves my skin. You have no idea. So, we're satisfied. Satisfied, relieved, ready to party, you name it. Let's get to the night market, huh? We have something to celebrate, you and I. Yeah, I want to go to the night market, but also could you pay me? Or you are going to pay me, right? This is it, huh? Pretty modest. Hey, you want fancy or you want cheap? This is where folks come to get an edge for a good price. And now, you can be one of those people. Rake now likes you and will offer discounts in her shop. Hooray! Maybe 1 level of like is enough for a discount. I thought they had to love you, but maybe I'm wrong about that. So, no, we did not get paid, but we still have a fair amount of money here. So, Plaka the Swab, I believe, sells grafts. Like all good markets, there's a Spark Baron selling tech of questionable provenance and safety. Oh, you need an edge hunter? A good graft can warn off your enemies, or lure them to the grave. Let's have a look. So we have 3 slots for negotiation grafts right now, and 3 for battle grafts. We can also add more graft slots, but this is not a cheap process. And also painful. And also, obviously, it does some damage. It's not as expensive as I remembered. I think for the moment, though, like, we have plenty of slots. Let's try to pick up an interesting graft. So, the Shrieker, 120 shills for, at the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to all opposing arguments. That's a gross thing to get implanted. A Frontal Goad, all friendly arguments come into play with 2 resolve. That seems okay. That's 220. Or the Pawn's Might. Increase the maximum damage of all cards by 1. That seems very good. It's extremely expensive. What about the battle graphs? Start of each battle, discard up to 2 cards and draw that many new cards. You know, that's okay. That would be fun with our strategy, at least. At the end of your turn, gain defense equal to half your combo. We're not really in a combo kind of place, unfortunately. Or the Salvager. If you discarded at least 4 cards on your previous turn, gain 3 temporary power. That could end up being really good for us, maybe. Here, let's back off. What else are we all selling here? Frolic of the Beasts. Frolic of the Beast stands before you, surrounded by various animal parts and accessories. Quick, what's the most dangerous beast in Havaria? Is it people? Ha, not even close. The most dangerous animal in Havaria is... Oh, wait, what'd you say? Yeah, that was it. It is people. Anyway, if you want to add to your pack, you've come to the right... Oh, we can buy more pets. Turnip, a wild Vrock. Pokey, a wild Fleed. I could sell Bort, I would never... Or we could buy some beast-related cards. Things that clearly have been gathered from beasts. I'm pretty sure we want to buy a Graft here. Or maybe we want to spend our money doing some things to our deck. You find Rake tending to her ring. Knew I'd see you again. Nothing quite as thrilling as the taste of your own blood in your mouth, huh? I could think of a few things. You say that, but here you are. So, we can remove battle cards from our deck, or we can buy some new battle cards. Do you have anything that plays well with my gimmick? Like, another copy of Reckless Swing's not terrible. Ooh, Scatter's fun. Gives us some good benefit for discarding. We could buy another copy of Stringer. I sort of think... Maybe we just want to buy some battle cards, rather than, like, dig deeper into our gimmick, rather than buying a Graft. I actually like that idea. Let's buy the Stringer, and the Reckless Swing. And the Scatter. What the hell? Why not? And then... but if we buy the Reckless Swing, then we don't have... we won't have enough money to remove something, too. I would like to narrow our deck a little bit. Yeah, alright. Let's remove a battle card. Now, the real secret to expert combat is to know your strengths and remove your weaknesses. Like, for example, a crummy feint card that you don't even want in your deck. Yep, pretty sure that's the one. It could also be like an elbow strike. Elbow strike is always not exciting. We'll probably get rid of those eventually. Alright, I think that was an okay use of all of our money. And so the Priest of Hesh here allows us to do the same stuff as Rake, but to our negotiation deck, although obviously at a little bit of a surcharge on account of he's very moody. Alright, completed Fish's job, let's go back to the Grog. See if she's found anything about Kashio. But first, a bedraggled cultist approaches you eagerly. There you are. Sorry, excuse me? Oh, not you. Bort! I've been looking all over for you. Thank you for finding my Lumicite. Never known one to be as curious as this one. You wouldn't believe the trouble it gets into. Bort seemed pretty eager to be friends with me, but I don't necessarily know that means that she wasn't treating it well. You know, it may just be the case that it's friendly with everyone. Let's ask some questions. What do you mean, your Lumicite? I'm a trainer. This Lumicite is my latest charge, but it's proving a challenge. A mind of its own, this one has. Maybe the will of Hesh itself compels it. So if I refuse, we'll pick up another Bane. Wow, she would pay me 300 shills. But I kinda have already taken a liking to this little dude. I refuse. What do you reckon, Bort? You want to go back to the cult? Or have you had your fill of Hesh and its bossy tentacles? Okay, well, I mean, who could argue with that? The Lumicite hunches its shoulders, growling a clear warning at Frinoin. Okay, good. I feel better about this choice now. Well, that seems like a no. Bort's happy where she is, thanks. I see. Well, I know as well as anyone not to wrestle with an angry Lumicite. Pray the creature doesn't drag you into the deep, Grifter. You won't enjoy the experience. Well, no, that's not going to happen because Bort and I are friends. Frinowin storms off. You wonder if you chose the right course of action there. Okay, that's a question. Yeah, of course you did. Look at her. Look how cute she is. Alright, Frinowin's real mad. At the start of each fight, add a gnarled effigy to your draw pile. Huh. She's doing some kind of cult magic on us. While this is in your hand, take 1 damage whenever you play a card. Wow, that sucks. And it's crapping up our... Yeah, man. I hope Borch turns out to be worth it. It's late when you get back to the Grogget Dog, but you can spot trouble before you even step onto its porch. You slip quietly behind an overturned table before anyone notices. I hear you've been asking after my bounty, but you're out of the game, fish, so you must be asking for someone else. I don't hold it against you, but whatever hunter you're hiding, you need to hand them over. There's no hunter here, Cashio. We both know that won't stop you from being a mudsucker. I've got a business to run, same as you. There was a time when you respected that. The slimy underside of Cashio's voice is enough to draw you out of your hiding spot, blade at the ready. Pretty much everything draws me out of my hiding spot, blade at the ready. It's kind of my primary character trait. Don't be so smug, Cashio. Nobody gets a bounty like yours without enemies. Sal? You're the hunter? I'd have thought that Derrik would have beaten the spirit out of you. It didn't have to be this way, Cashio. You could have bought me out at any time, and I'd have forgiven you. With that look in your eye, I don't think so. Don't mistake this for condescension. I'm proud you made it off the Derrik. I should have known you would. Excuse me if I don't stick around to see this done. It'll hurt too much to see you go down. Cashio tosses a fistful of shills onto the soiled bar counter. For the damages, fish, if you manage to survive. It ain't nothing personal, after all. Not even the floorboards creak as Cashio leaves. For a moment, her goons hang there, watching to see what you'll do. Go down quiet, Hunter. I promise it'll be just like going to sleep. Who's Alongwe's the other bouncer? Yeah, hey, buddy, maybe you could, help out here? Alongwe, you're the bouncer. Yeah, I'm hired to keep ruffians out. Cashio's a class of her own. Alright, well that is not going to work for me. Also, your boss is mad at you. So, okay. Fish just gave us some influence. Whenever Alongwe deals damage, they gain composure equal to the resolve lost. But if no resolve is lost, Alongwe takes 3. Okay, so we definitely want to make sure that we're covering our resolve. Unfortunately, also discarding cards at the beginning of combat makes that a little awkward. We can deploy some bait. Bait is an argument with 2 resolve that must be targeted before anything else. Withdrawn is good enough, though. Withdrawn covers us. Let's just take that. Alright, that plays well with Alongwe's mechanics, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and grab Dominance here, since we have a Threaten in our hands and everything. That's a shame, minimum damage. And what have you gained? Intense and target previews are hidden. When this argument takes damage without being destroyed, Alongwe gains a ploy. Well, then I guess let's just destroy it, shall we? Ergo will allow me to... It will show me 3 of the cards that are in my discard pile. We probably want that, right? Yeah, I would love to get Quick Thinking or Sal's Instincts back. Alright, so let's play Quick Thinking. Show me something fun. We don't know for sure. I guess I should have blown this up first, because we don't know for sure what he's doing, but he's probably playing an attack of some kind, and so Withdrawn will allow us to take advantage of Double Edge. Alright, let's blow this up. Show me your target. That's a shame. We can keep it alive, but we won't be able to make him take damage from Double Edge. Alright, I'm feeling pretty unstable. Given the situation, seems like dominance is the way to go. Do we want to do Bounty Hunter now? Yeah, it's probably worth it. I guess it is going to make... We don't have to blow this up just yet. Let's leave this here until he's closer to 8, because we don't want to give him extra damage. We want to keep him in a place where we can fully defend the attacks. Blow this up, give Threaten some bonus damage. Okay, why did that blow? I'm not even 100% sure why the Wanted blew up, but it got him down to 7. We can definitely finish him from here. What is this? Just... Okay, just deals some damage. That's his ploy. Whatever. We'll just go around it. We know the fast talk won't do lethal damage. Let's play that, just to get some more XP out. Alright, I feel like we spend a lot of our time convincing people to do their job. If this card destroys an argument, gain 1 dominance. Honestly, that seems pretty strong if we're leaning hard red here. You gonna make me do your job for you? No, I guess not. Alright. Alongwe steps up to your side, ready to defend the Grog and Dog. Better late than never, you suppose. Hey, listen, if he steps up before the fighting starts, it's not even really late. Okay, that's concerning. This is do or die. Me and Alongwe, and of course my friend Bort, and of course my gnarled effigy. Alright, so what's Bort's deal? When untrained Lumicite Bort receives damage, reduce kindling by 1 and apply kindling to the attacker. At the end of untrained Lumicite Bort's turn, convert all kindling to temporary power. Okay, and he gains 2 defense at the end of every turn. So it'd be really cool if he were not getting hit for 8 on the first turn of the battle. Yeah, that's a real bummer, actually. Let's open with... Okay, and your thing is just you're a Jirackle, so you get power. And you are a medic. Whenever you heal a target, remove all negative conditions on them. Cool. Let's start with a fight dirty. Let's get an idea of what we have in our hand here. So... We could impair, which is going to cut like 2 damage off the Lumicite, but it's not going to be enough to stop it from losing all of its kindling. This is really rough, actually. We could just scrounge to try to find some better cards to draw to discard with Scatter. No such luck. Pretty rough. I mean, we're adding up a lot of cards here for Slice, at least. I guess let's play the Scatter. Is it Scatter into Slice? Do I actually want a Spark Grenade now? No, let's Scatter into Slice. So we'll discard... I don't know, it doesn't really matter what, because we know what we're playing. Gain ourselves a little bit of temporary power. And then Slice for 4 damage plus 3 bleed. Huh, convert all kindling to temporary power. Interesting. He gained a lot more defense than I was expecting there. Oh, did Alongwe apply defense to him? Is that... I'm not 100% clear on what happened there, because if I'm honest, I was paying way more attention to my stuff than I was anybody else's. This guy just, like, he sprays a lot of damage everywhere, in a way that's very annoying. You know what? He gets the makeshift dagger. So he'll take one bonus damage from all of the attacks that our teammates are dealing out, and then of course we still got our own stuff. We're definitely gonna Reckless Swing, discarding Stringer. And if a card has an effect when you discard it, discarding it does give it experience. So we are getting benefit here. Let's stack up some more bleed on top of the bleed that the boss is currently carrying, and then I guess I'll just feint myself, because I'm about to get hit for, geez, an awful lot. You know what? Bort has relatively little health, though. It's pretty important we make sure he doesn't take, or she doesn't take a ton of damage, too. Alright, here's my damn gnarled effigy. Well, we have Bedlam, though. So we'll just discard it. We're going to take 1 damage playing the Bedlam. And this is a turn where Sparky's just buffing himself up, so let's just drop damage. Okay, he's really charging up the big arm cannon, apparently. Fortunately, I think... Oh, boy. This is a bad turn. So Longway's gonna heal. We do not quite have the damage, right? That's 11 total. We need to take his health down by 9, and he has 7 defense on top of that. Yeah, this is a really bad turn to draw no attacks at all. Well, I guess spines, and I'm not going to use my worker's gloves, obviously. Oh, Bort, he's trying so hard. Okay. So Bort will die if this dude gets a turn, but fortunately that is just not going to happen. And, I mean, obviously. Alright, that got a little close for our friend there. So we got some money, we got some resolve, we got his oppressor cell. Gain 3 temporary power, and this is a card that just expends, it doesn't get destroyed, so that's nice. We managed to level up one of our feints. So we can turn it into apply 4 defense, heal 4, expend, or apply 4 defense and draw. I think this is pretty good. Reliable healing is hard to come by, and also this gets it out of our deck after we play it so we don't keep drawing it. Like, obviously, now that it has heal 4 on it, it is a thing that we might like to draw multiple times, but mostly I just want to, like... We play it once and then our deck is thinner and more consistent. I like that a lot. We get a negotiation card of a unusually high rarity because, of course, it's a boss fight reward. So a 0 cost, 0 to 3 damage card seems pretty solid. Target argument loses 2 resolve and you gain 2 resolve is also very good. Or bulldoze. Gain whenever you destroy an argument, gain an action. You know, I do like it. It's a little bit of, it takes a little bit of setup time, but it does seem powerful. And once we've leveled it up, we can probably reduce the cost. I'm gonna take it. And battle card, something equally cool. If this card was improvised, attack 3 times, apply 2 bleed per attack. That seems pretty solid. Add a copy of this card to your discard pile. So, when you play Switchblade, you're going to add a bunch of noise to your deck, and if you don't have a combo mechanic going, you're going to end up drawing this thing a lot as the battle goes on. And I mean, like, 2 damage for 0 actions is cool, but if you're trying to run some kind of other strategy, it feels like this is going to end up getting in the way a lot. And this, whenever you discard a card, gain 1 adrenaline. Attack damage is increased by 1, but at the end of your turn, remove all adrenaline. I mean, this plays into our gimmick, right? I like it. Let's take it. I want to be Master of the Shadows. And I'm starting to get a reputation for violence. You know, that's a thing I hear a lot. While this is in your hand, hostility cards deal 1 bonus damage, and diplomacy cards deal 1 less damage. Yeah, okay, that seems fine for us. I do feel dangerous. And defeating a boss gets us a graft. So, at the start of your turn, reduce the cost of a random card in your hand by 1. Gain 1 action at the start of your turn, but bystanders no longer assist you in negotiations. The Shrokian Glamour Stones. That's... Gain 1 action at the start of your turn, like every turn. So bystanders no longer give you a little buff, but you get 4 actions per turn. That seems very good. Or gain 1 action at the start of your turn, but hostility cards deal less damage. Obviously, this is not a good fit for us. So, this is also effectively 1 extra action, right? It's just that we don't get to... We have to play a certain card to get the benefit. I'm gonna go Interior Drill. I like the help. I like the help from bystanders. Alright, let's just not think too hard about where that goes or how it was inserted. Fish carefully navigates the mess of her bar, favoring her side. She doesn't look too badly injured, but she's not as young as she used to be. Well, that shucked a rotten oyster. But we've been through worse and we're both still standing. I can't believe she came for you like that. You! She doesn't care about anyone, does she? She's just a monster all the way down. I mean, I should talk. What's done is done. The fire's only good if it stokes the engine, kid. I should have gone for Kashio as soon as I arrived. Now you're dragged into it too. Now, none of that. You got a bit of grit in your eye. You'll wink it out once you get some sleep. Listen, I got a room set up for you in the back. With Kashio gone, the few patrons that remain return to their drinks. Them that weren't spilled, anyway. Yeah, I mean, listen, that could have gone a lot worse. Overall, right? Fish didn't get to the top of her field by indulging her wounds. She barely flinches as she spit shines an old mug. I bet your blood's boiling, kid, but we survived the day. Cool your feet, get some rest, we'll come up with a plan in the morning. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good idea. Good night's rest can't hurt, unless I wake up dead, that is. Kashio won't come back on my watch. The back's barricaded, and the front has me. Yeah, I mean, that didn't seem to stop her last time, but fine, I get what you're saying. Fish leads you through a curtain behind the bar, nodding toward a cozy room at the back. Alright, we've unlocked Rook's story by getting through the first day here, but obviously we're gonna stick Sal's story out until the end. Your bed calls to you. You've worked too hard to stay up worrying. Sleep claims you quickly. Alright, so we get back 34% of our max HP and 34% of our max resolve, which is enough to fill us both up. We, made some relationships happen. It turns out a deck that has too many cards is hard to pilot. Yeah, we should really focus on getting the size of our battle deck down. We gained a lot of cards today. You slept through the night with one hand gripping the knife under your pillow. But then, you've slept that way every night since you were 12. Alright. And I think this, maybe, is a good place to call for the first episode. I just wanted to give you all an idea of what we were in for here. And I think we got to see sort of all the sides of this thing a little bit. The intention with this series is that there will be roughly an hour of new gameplay every weekday until we have, at the very least, seen through all three of the characters' stories. And I'm sure we'll do some more runs beyond that, because, like I said, I just like the game a whole lot. So come back next time, tomorrow, for some more of that, and we'll see you then.